Hey everyone, it's Alex, and welcome to the Marvel Snap Decks of the Week, the weekly series where I showcase the top 11 decks in Marvel Snap. I usually say top 10 decks, but you know what? I always have an 11th deck, especially when the card in the weekend missions is not in the top 10. I feel honor bound to give you that bonus deck like I've done with Morgan Le Fay here, but it's worth noting here most of you guys have been here for so long, and I do appreciate, I really do. As always, the first week of the season, we do things a little differently. We're using untapped base statistics from rank 70 through Infinite because obviously not enough people at Infinite to get a good judgment of the meta there anyways. We don't got, concrete stats until, a couple of weeks in. But most importantly, you're just trying to rank to Infinite anyway right now for the most part, and you will be encountering some bots on the way. So these decks will be very effective against both players and bots. Just do keep in mind that the cube rates and the win rates do incorporate those bot-based statistics, which cause them to be a little bit inflated. With that being said, hit that like button if you like to support the content. It helps tremendously with the YouTube algorithm. As we go to our bonus deck, which is Morgan Le Fay, which is literally just Coccia with Morgan Le Fay in it. I gotta be honest with you guys. I almost didn't want to include this. I was like, you know what? I don't want to just put a Coccia deck with Morgan Le Fay. Like, you may as well just play Airsham. But honestly, it's actually not bad. I did play it, and it does provide you with a little bit of an interesting line. But I will say, it's like, man, I kind of really hope that one of the real awesome Morgan Le Fay cooks kind of rises, and maybe it'll take a little while. Like, I tried to do something, but it was a little inconsistent. High power, but very inconsistent. It's a little unfortunate that Morgan Le Fay just getting slammed into what is an already good deck is kind of like her best performing spot, right? We need to cook a little bit, damn it. We need to cook. And so, anyways, long story short, if you're looking to get the weekend mission done, you just play Coccia, slam Morgan Le Fay in it, and you got yourself a deck that works, that'll get you through the weekend mission, or you can just do what everyone else does and just put her in Airsham with the season pass card and finish your weekend missions. But anyways, this would be the top performing Morgan Le Fay deck currently. It looks like none of the outright crazy brews have really pushed the metrics far enough to make Morgan Le Fay kind of like a standout from a statistics perspective. That's going to take us to number 10, and I want to incorporate a very nice, solid deck that is relatively inexpensive. It does feature Surge, but this is going to be Surging Destroy at a 60% win rate and a 0.75 cube rate. While it comes in at number 10 here at 0.75, the win rate is very high, and it's relatively inexpensive, guys. Classic Destroy doing well, and it's one of those things where maybe the bots don't pick up on like the fact that death might be in your hand or whatever, or the fact that you're bouncing the Deadpool back, and they analyze the board state on turn 5. They're like, well, Deadpool's not here. They have no power. Snap, and you just snap them for 8 cubes or whatever. It's also worth knowing that Destroy is just kind of decent. I mean, ever since Thanos has gotten a couple nerfs, like Destroy was low-key a really good meta counter while Thanos was being so popular because you could just wipe out the whole board, especially against those ongoing Thanos-based shells. The Strange Supreme ones tend to suck all the stones and everything like that kind of rapidly and minimize your Killmonger effect. But anyways, Destroy is relatively inexpensive, a solid choice. You'll get to Infinite with it if that is something you're looking to do. So Destroy coming in at number 10. We go to number 9, and this is where Merlin comes in here, and this is Merlin's Finest at 62% win rate, which is very high, honestly, and a 0.76 cube rate. The cube rate is somewhat lacking compared to some of the other ones, but it's still pretty solid. What I like about this deck a lot is that it has a very consistent early game. You have the Kitty Pryde, the Zabu. I like the Collector here with both the Kate Bishop and, of course, Merlin, which is constantly adding to your hand. And it also benefits from the likes of Iron Patriot. Fastos seems copy here, but honestly, I just like playing Fastos. When I was testing this deck, I was like, you know what? I actually really like Fastos here. You have a lot of tech as well with Enchantress, which is almost completely necessary since Cerebro is very popular right now. We'll talk about Cerebro after. The spicy play here, of course, is Negasonic. The addition of Negasonic is pretty awesome. Merlin's really good at like keeping initiative. These decks have a very low curve, and so you're able to play things a lot rapidly and early, and like you're able to maintain initiative, which can catch people by surprise with that Negasonic, especially on turn 6 where you're able to drop that Negasonic down and almost guarantee you're going to clean a lane. And of course, the winning condition of Enchantress on the ongoing cards and Shang-Chi as a closer as well. Deck is just good. It's just performing well, and this is one of the top performing shells for Merlin if you're looking to play Merlin and get those weekend missions done. That's coming in at number 9. At number 8 here, we do have Bullseye. This is the classic Bullseye, and you know what? Honestly, I know some of you guys are getting sick of it. This probably is the most prevalent deck I've ever designed. Like, this is the one that I think has had the most meta penetration and has been most meta relevant for the longest time. And it's crazy to think that, like, you know what? Bullseye has been such a consistent piece. And for a while, like I remember doing the Snapchat preview, I almost doubted him a little bit, which is crazy to look back at that, right? Like I remember talking to Cozy about Bullseye and having a seed of doubt, and then going forward and creating like literally the Bullseye deck that has been consistent for months ever since his release. It's running a 58% win rate right now at a 0.78 cube rate, which is it's great. And the nice thing about this deck as well is if you're like, well, I don't want to play a deck that just farms bots. Well, this is also a very good Conquest deck. It's also a very good just ranking deck. You can rank very high with this deck. It's legit. It does a great job, and it is time tested and proven to be a performer. So number 8 is Bullseye, and it's going to take us to number 7. Coming in at number 7, we got a fantastic cook, which is Discard Surfer. And listen, you know I love a good Surfer deck, and this one is absolutely cooking. 59% win rate, 0.80 cube rate. What I like about this deck is it has the disruption of something like a Moon Knight, which is obviously can proc that Proxima Midnight. The only challenge is, of course, it can hit something like your Galacta as well. Do bear that in mind. But it can be relatively disruptive and obviously provide you with an opportunity to activate something for Fenris. But what's also really cool about this deck, and I was playing it, I was like, yeah, this is kind of neat. You play Fenris down on turn 2, and then on the last turn of the game, you do your Gambit plus Silver Surfer. You're guaranteed to hit Proxima Midnight. Proxima Midnight's going to select a pretty useful location because it's going to be the weakest power one, and then you destroy something on their side, pretty much guaranteed, and you Fenris it almost right away. So you're able to do like a lot of interesting things on turn 6, of which your opponent can't really predict. Snapping's kind of tricky here because like you don't know what Gambit's going to hit. You don't know what you're going to bring back with Fenris. You don't know where Proxima's going to go. Well, you kind of do, I guess, but there is a little bit of that. However, what I will say is when I was testing this deck, it makes me want to play Juggernaut again. Like Juggernaut feels so good, and I was even thinking, I'm like, you know what, man? A classic Surfer Juggernaut Storm deck. Do I bring that back? I was thinking about this. I was thinking about Juggernaut and Surfer and whether or not I want to do Storm again with her. You know what I mean? I might have to cook with that a little bit. But anyways, yeah, Discard Surfer doing really well right now, coming in at number 7. That's going to take us to number 6, which is a really interesting take on Darkhawk. This is using Agent Venom, and what I liked about this deck as well is that obviously it has Esme Cuckoo, which, I mean, some people were expecting to kind of fall off a little bit, but I keep standing by Esme. I feel like I enjoy playing Esme. I think it's a cool card. And in this case here, obviously you have the Agent Venom. Now, Darkhawk is not going to benefit from Agent Venom, but the likes of Gore will. What I found interesting here was that if you really look carefully, you don't actually have that many Darkhawk activators. He's just a well-statted card. And of course, you got the Mystique Lion you could do some magic with, but Korg is really your only activator for the Darkhawk here. And of course, you could also Nico the Korg copy it, play it again. But it's not running like a Rock Slide or anything else that is usually characteristic of a Darkhawk deck, but he still puts out some relatively decent power. Overall, this deck here can be phenomenal when a specific case happens. When you actually hit Darkhawk, Gore, or Iron Man with Esme. Those are 3 very big hits. And the thing I really like about it is that on turn 6, you can play the 3-costed Esme copy of Darkhawk with Mystique. That's pretty awesome. And I've had the game like that when I'm like, damn, I'm basically playing 2 Darkhawks, and they don't even expect it. You know what I mean? So it's kind of neat how that works out. And maybe if the rock slides and stuff like that were in the deck, maybe we'd give it away a little bit. But regardless, I do like the list. It's pretty neat. And it's coming at a 62% win rate at 0.82 cube rate. That's going to take us to basically what's the Texera deck that's allowing people to climb towards Infinite here, and it's called Sarah Bloodstone at a 60% win rate and a 0.91 cube rate. What you've got here is Kitty Pryde, Angela. Jeff makes a deck, guys, and no, it's not a typo. I was looking, I'm like, man, is this an actual Jeff deck? Are we doing this? And we are doing it. Elsa, unironically, making a few decks here. Now, obviously aided with the likes of the Mysterio and stuff like that. When I was testing this deck, I was like, okay, I got Mysterio, I got Elsa. I almost wanted to squeeze Sasquatch into this deck, but I mean, statistically, this is doing fantastic. You got so much tech here. Of course, you got the Shangers, you have the Enchantress, you have the Mobius and Mobius. This is a good list, and Search does a great job of allowing you to get like, oh, Sarah on turn 4 is insane, or even discounting Shangers to 3 or Enchantress to 3 when you're going into those late turns really makes a difference when you're catching cerebral players or pretty much anyone putting power on the board with Shangers by surprise. The deck's awesome. It's a new take of Sarah Control. Surge does provide a lot of utility here, which I do really appreciate. And it's just a very well-balanced approach of like, it's kind of like the Swiss Army knife of Marvel Snap. And so Sarah Bloodstone, a good choice if you're looking to rank up and do so while having the tech pieces you need. That's going to take us to number 4, and it's Negative Gore. Surprise, surprise. Negative Gore is making the top 10 in that first week here. What's interesting enough is it's not number 1. It's running a 59% win rate and a 0.92 cube rate. Now, this is always consistently one of the best performing decks early on in the season. Negative in particular is a good bot scammer because you play Mr. Negative on a location, you're automatically losing there, and then you can just throw another location and bots will almost auto snap you on turn 5 and then just get destroyed on turn 6, you know what I mean? You play your Jane Foster, they still don't see much power, they stay in these games, you throw down Gore, Taskmaster, all this different stuff, and you just absolutely clap their bot cheeks. So negative Gore does represent a very solid way to rank up. It's also worth knowing that on the competitive ladder near the higher echelons of Marvel Snap, negative was legit. Like, people were playing negative very competitively, and so, you know, it does provide you with a lot of outright power potential. The only challenge is against a lot of players, if they see a snap on turn 2 and Psylocke or Ravonna comes down, they know what's up. They know what's coming. They know that it's Mr. Negative on turn 3. So just do bear that in mind, right? It tends to have a lower cube equity against players than something like a bot, of course. And that, my friends, is going to take us to number 3. The top 3 is brand new compared to prior months. We do have Hydra Surge doing a great job at a 62% win rate, 0.99 cube rate. Future decks are going to be in that full cube rate range. And it does have Captain America Sam Wilson. Even though it's nerfed, it's doing great work with Batroc the Leaper. Silk and Hydra Stomper continue to be a great, excellent source of power. Gwenpool, Galactan, of course, your 1-costed 1/6 Miles Morales and Shongers, just for good measure. Hey, and why not add a Surge in there while you're at it? This deck honestly does a lot of stuff very well. And what I found with Galacta was that you're able to get a lot of value out of Kitty Pryde. And Kitty Pryde, of course, can be used to help pump and move that Surge around, Silk, which I found to be particularly valuable. Once again, in one of the top performing shells is Hydra Stomper, which I've been talking about since its release, has been quietly a very strong performer. Hydra Stomper in and of itself brought Silk all the way back, and this is a fantastic high performing shell that you can play if you're interested in playing a little bit of move, even though it's had a bunch of cards that have been nerfed, like Galacta got nerfed, Rocket and Groot got nerfed, Captain, how many times has Sam Wilson got nerfed? He still sees play, right? But anyways, very good deck, and Batroc, absolutely fantastic in here with the likes of Kraven. That's going to take us to number 2, and you did expect it. It is Cerebro. Now, Cerebro, here's a fun fact for this number 2 deck. It is C2. Why is it C2? Well, it's probably because of Luke Cage, let's be honest, right? Nicolas Cage giving you that protection against power. It is the highest cube rate deck of the week at 1.04. The number 1 deck has a slightly lower cube rate, but a much higher win rate, so that's why I did a little flipperoonie there. But honestly, what I gotta tell you, okay, I've been playing this deck, and like a lot of people have, I just love the fact that something like Cerebro can make cards that have been long considered garbage playable again. You're playing Echo, you're playing Goose, Mr. Sinister, you're playing Lasher. These are cards that have been largely considered just trash cards. Like, why play these cards? Well, because you're playing C2. I love the fact that cards that see absolutely no play in any other form of, like, you know, Marvel Snap competitive of play, see it here. Goose, Echo, like, I just love it. And if Cerebro can bring these cards into the limelight, then I'm all for it. The only real challenge here is that Marvel Snap hates you when you play Cerebro, and you're gonna get Monster Out, and you're gonna get locations that buff power, the locations that just like kind of negate your power. Who cares? You got Nick Cage there, but like everything else, it's like, oh man, it's so cringe. Like, why do I need Muir Island? Muir Island, I basically can't play there. You know what I mean? And there's tons and tons and tons of locations that screw up Cerebro, and so it's very hard to rely on. But man, when you get that pop off, the stats you're putting out is legit insane, like absolutely insane. And when I was playing this deck here, Lasher absolutely claps, and most people like don't play Lasher at all. It might be a very underappreciated card. And Shadow King's an absolute cube stealer, man. Like, we put so much focus on Shongers, but Shadow King's fantastic, right? So it's honestly doing fantastic work in Marvel Snap. And that's going to take us to the number 1 deck of the week. And guys, as always, make sure that you are subscribed. Just go down there, scroll down, hit the like button while you're there, and be like, yo, I'm not subscribed? I didn't realize that. And according to Untap-based statistics, we got ourselves Agent Pixie running a 60% win rate and it is a full cube 1.01 cube rate, and this is a cook. It's got Agent Venom in it. You got the Gore, the Iron Man, you have the Esme Cuckoo, but what's really cool here is you've got Pixie. Pixie was a very interesting choice here, and I was playing this deck, and obviously I bought the Creative House Pocket. I had to, man. I don't know what it is about these variants. They just really stand out to me. I just love how they look. But yeah, this Agent Pixie deck honestly is doing really good, and sneaking out a Gore for very inexpensive, or obviously Iron Man, these are great things. And with that Mystique, you're able to have like tremendous combo potential. And your opponent, when you play Pixie, your opponent's like, bruh, if they snap, I'm gone. Like, I'm not staying. If they snap, I'm not staying, because they're going to drop that newly buffed Giganto on me or something. No one's playing Giganto still, but maybe someone out there is playing. Maybe you're playing Giganto. But anyways, this Pixie deck, honestly, is awesome. And I was super excited to record this video because I was like, damn, man, we got an Agent Pixie deck #1. And that's fantastic, man. I'm all about that. I love when we got some surprising things floating up in the meta. We got the classics like the negative Gores. But look at this. We got Pixie Gore out here as well. Thank you guys so much for watching. I sincerely appreciate each and every one of you. You guys mean the absolute world to me. And I hope you enjoy. I was going to say I hope you enjoy these gameplay highlights, but there are no gameplay highlights. I just hope you get to Infinite. I hope you have fun on the ladder, and we'll see you on that next one.